Hi children! Meet again in Bina, Iman, Anak of Talenta Primary School. How are you today? The weather today is sunny. I hope your mood is as bright as the weather today. And I hope you are always healthy and safe. By the way, kenapa ngomongnya jadi bahasa Inggris ya? Ini tuh, ini tuh gara-gara kemarin Miss tuh lihatin anak-anak kelas 6 yang ujian sekolah. Mereka itu bercerita mengenai kisah nabi-nabi dalam bahasa Inggris dan luar biasa. Keren banget, semuanya bagus-bagus. And I will choose one for you today. Let's check it out.
Once upon a time in Israel lived an old and wise man named Jonah. Jonah was a respected man. People came to him for wise advice to solve their problems. God loved him because he was wise and he helped others. Jonah also loved God. He prayed and followed his teachings. Nineveh is a neighboring country of Israel. The people who lived there were known to be evil, and they did bad things that disobeyed the Lord's commands. They were cruel, greedy, and were always fighting with each other. Because of this, God didn't like the people of Nineveh. One day, God called Jonah and spoke to him. Jonah, son of Amittai, I require your services. There is a place called Nineveh. The people who live there are evil. They steal from each other and disobey my commands. Their actions anger me. Therefore, I have decided to not let them be. God said, Indeed, my Lord, I am aware of their actions, but I am confused. How can I offer my services? Jonah asked, You must go to Nineveh and tell them about me. They are not aware of me. Therefore, you should tell them about my love and tell them to change their ways. God said, But God, how am I supposed to do this? They are bad people. Besides, why should I risk my life? They won't listen to me. Jonah complained, This is my will. You must go to Nineveh and do as I say. God replied. Jonah was very confused what God told him to do. He was not convinced that the people of Nineveh would turn good and change their ways, but how could he disobey God? Because of this, he decided to hide and run from God. Instead of going to Nineveh, he decided to hide in a place called Tarshish. He went to Jaffa, and there he saw a ship. He paid his fee and went aboard. But as the old saying goes, whatever you do, you can run from God. As soon as the ship left shore, it got caught in a great storm. Everyone aboard was terrified. They prayed to their God to stop the storm, but it didn't work. They threw loads of things out of the boat to try to lighten it up. The crew was surprised that Jonah was sleeping, despite the boat being tossed around. Jonah, wake up! How can you sleep in this water? Soon enough, the ship is going to be ripped to pieces. Go pray to your God. We have been praying to our God, the storm just kept going. Tell us, where do you come from? What do you do for a living? They asked. I am a Hebrew, a worshipper of God who created the sea and the dry land. This statement struck fear to the crewman's soul. Have you done anything to anger him? They asked this because they knew that Jonah tried to run away from God. Jonah, tell us, what can we do to stop the storm? You must show me out the ship. It is the only way, Jonah replied with a sigh. Instead of doing that, they tried to land the ship. They paddled and paddled through the waves, but all that effort didn't do a thing. Finally, they realized that this was the only option. They threw Jonah out of the boat, and just like that, the storm stopped, and the water was calm. Suddenly, a big fish swallowed Jonah. It was gloomy. There was an awful smell and sure was cold. He is covered in a slimy goo, and there were all sorts of things in there. Jonah didn't realize that he is in the stomach of a big fish. Jonah can't believe that it was happening to him, but he knew that this was the work of God. Jonah spent 3 days and 3 nights in the big fish's stomach. During these times, he thought about his regrets. How could he disobey God and run from Him? He also prayed to ask for forgiveness for his actions. Jonah would lose hope once in a while. He was worried that he would never see daylight again. More than that, it was not that comfortable living in the stomach. Jonah was sad, but his faith gave him strength. He believed that God would save him. Finally, on the 4th day, the big fish spit out Jonah. Jonah was relieved and would see daylight again. Then, not long after, God spoke to him. Jonah, how could you think that you could run from me? I am always with you. Now, do as I say. Go to Nineveh and preach my name. God replied. Then Jonah obeyed God's command and went headed to Nineveh. Nineveh is a huge country. He spent 3 days till he reached that nation. And just as promised, Jonah went to tell the people of Nineveh about God. He told them God's undying love. He also warned them that if they didn't change their ways, in exactly 40 days, their land will perish. The king of Nineveh heard about Jonah and invited him to his palace. He said that he would change his ways and be a better person. He also told the people of Nineveh that they should worship the one true God. God saw that the people of Nineveh indeed changed their ways. Because of this, he cancelled his plan to destroy that nation. Even then, Jonah wasn't happy. He still wanted Nineveh to be destroyed. Because of this, he asked God for answers. My God, the people of Nineveh are evil. That is why I disobeyed your command. Why would you try to save them if they deserve to be punished? Then God provided a leafy plant to ease his discomfort. At dawn, a worm chewed that plant that made it wither. Then God spoke to him. Jonah, you cared about that plant, is that true? Even then, you never really tried to take care of it. How can I not be concerned about the people of Nineveh? Who they can't tell the difference between their left hand and their right. Jonah soon understood what God meant. He came back to his hometown Israel. He continued to tell the people about God, and the prophet lived a long life.
Oh, awesome! What do you think? Of course, it's cool. Clifford, luar biasa ya, bagus banget anak-anak. Apa yang sudah disampaikan oleh kakak Clifford mengenai kisah Nabi Yunus. Nah, anak-anak tahu nggak nih kisah nabi-nabi yang lainnya? Kalau belum tahu atau belum banyak tahu, yuk kita cari tahu supaya kita bisa lebih banyak tahu. Dan kalau kalian sudah tahu, jangan lupa untuk sharingkan supaya semakin banyak yang mengenal kisah nabi-nabi dalam Alkitab. Oke anak-anak, sampai di sini dulu kegiatan Bina Iman kita minggu ini. See you next time. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you for today. Thank you for your attention. See you next time. Bye-bye.